Sometimes history just drops these insane stories of people who completely redefine what strength, loyalty, and vision mean. There was this woman, imagine someone so grounded, so fearless, that in a time when the whole world seemed to be built against her, she built her own empire, earned her own wealth, and then used it to uplift the people she cared about. We're talking about a time when society wasn't exactly rolling out the red carpet for women to lead, yet she became one of the most respected, influential, and admired figures of her era. And here's what blows my mind. She didn't just sit on that success. She wasn't hoarding it like some dragon on a pile of gold. She actively invested in people, supported ideas others laughed at, stood firm when storms came, and never backed down from what she believed was right. That level of courage, it's rare now, and it was even rarer back then. Picture this. An unstoppable mix of entrepreneur, philanthropist, and emotional rock, a person whose presence alone made people stand taller. She saw potential in others that they didn't even see in themselves. She bet on them when no one else would. And that's the kind of character that ripples through history. When I hear her story, I think, man, if more people today carried that mix of vision and compassion, the world would feel completely different. It's a reminder that influence isn't just about power or money. It's about the kind of human you choose to be when everyone's watching and when no one's watching. Imagine living in a time where almost every door is closed to you before you even try to open it. Not because you lack the ability, not because you don't have the brains or the grit, but simply because the world around you decided your place before you even took your first breath. Most people would settle into that box, accept the limits, and tell themselves that's just how life is. But then there are the rare few who don't just step out of that box, they crush it into dust. This woman was exactly that. She didn't wait for permission. She didn't ask for approval. While the world was telling her to stay in her lane, she was busy building highways. She wasn't supposed to be a leader, wasn't supposed to run a business, wasn't supposed to stand toe to toe with the most powerful people of her time. But she did. And here's the thing. She didn't just survive in that environment. She dominated it. She became a self-made powerhouse in a time where women had almost no platform, and that's like being a lone candle in a pitch black cave that ends up lighting the entire place. Think about it in today's terms. Imagine you're in an industry where nobody like you has ever made it. Everyone tells you you're wasting your time. Your friends smile politely but don't believe in your dream. Strangers openly doubt you. Every meeting you walk into, people look past you as if you're invisible. Now imagine not only showing up anyway, but becoming the most respected person in the room. That's not just skill, that's mental warfare. And she won every battle. She played the long game. While others were caught up in what they couldn't do, she mastered what she could do. She learned, adapted, and moved with precision. If there was no path, she made one. If there was no ladder, she built it. She understood something most people miss, that influence comes from proving over and over again that you're valuable, dependable, and unstoppable. But what makes her story powerful isn't just the empire she built. It's how she carried herself. Power without compassion is hollow, and she knew it. She wasn't the kind of person who used success as a weapon to push people down. She used it like a rope to pull them up. She didn't get intoxicated by titles or status. She was grounded, rooted in the kind of integrity that doesn't bend when the winds of opportunity blow. Look around today and you'll see people with all the resources in the world who still complain about why they can't get ahead. They have technology, education, and freedom of choice, yet they let excuses eat them alive. This woman's story kills those excuses instantly. She's proof that your environment isn't the final word on your future. Your mindset is. Every barrier she faced was heavier than what most of us will ever carry. The laws, the customs, the unspoken rules, they were all stacked against her. Yet she didn't waste her energy fighting the system head on in anger. She outsmarted it. She rose so high that the system had no choice but to acknowledge her. And that's the lesson. You don't always have to break the wall. Sometimes you climb over it so fast and so high that it becomes irrelevant. There's something magnetic about people like that. They don't have to tell you they're strong. You just feel it when they walk into a room. They make you want to stand taller, speak clearer, and chase harder. They carry a quiet confidence that doesn't need applause because their track record is their loudest statement. When you think about her life, you realize it's not just history. It's a blueprint. It's proof that even when the odds are absurdly stacked against you, you can still carve your name into the story of the world. She showed that leadership isn't about the era you're born into, it's about the courage you decide to live with. Let's dive deep into what it means to be a self-made powerhouse, especially in a world that wasn't designed to give you a chance. Think about the daily grind, the countless people waking up, going through the motions, but feeling stuck, limited by circumstances that seem out of their control. Now imagine stepping out of that mindset completely, being someone who builds their own path, their own empire, without waiting for permission or a handout. That's what it means to be truly self-made. Back then, for a woman to claim any kind of power was practically unheard of. The deck was stacked in so many ways: social norms, economic restrictions, cultural barriers, all telling her to sit down, be quiet, and know her place. But she didn't listen to those voices. She didn't accept the limits others placed on her. Instead, she turned those very walls into stepping stones. It's like waking up every day to 1,000 no's from the world and deciding that you're going to find the one yes that counts. If you look around today, you'll see plenty of people complaining about the system or their circumstances as if those things alone define their future. But her story proves that system is only as powerful as you let it be. When you have sharp business sense combined with relentless drive, you're not just reacting to the world, you're shaping it. Business sense isn't just about money. It's about understanding people, spotting opportunities before they become obvious, and having the guts to take calculated risks when others play it safe. Picture this: someone who wakes up every morning with a fire in their belly, not because they want to prove others wrong, but because they believe so deeply in their vision that failure isn't even an option. That kind of mindset is magnetic. It pulls resources, allies, and opportunities toward you like a magnet. And that relentless drive, it's what keeps you grinding when the phone doesn't ring, when the deals fall through, when the world doubts you. It's the fuel that turns ordinary people into legends. Her story teaches us something critical: success isn't about luck or being handed things on a silver platter. It's about showing up every day with purpose, learning from every setback, and doubling down on what works. She didn't just stumble into wealth, she built it brick by brick with her own hands and brain. Her business acumen allowed her to see value where others saw risk. She knew how to leverage what she had, whether that was money, relationships, or influence, and turn it into growth. Think about anyone you admire who made it against the odds. They all have one thing in common: a refusal to quit, paired with a sharp mind that knows when to pivot, when to hold steady, and when to go all in. It's not about being the loudest person in the room or flashing the biggest paycheck. It's about having the clarity to make smart moves, even when everything around you screams chaos. On a personal level, maybe you've faced situations where the odds felt impossible: starting a new job with zero experience, moving to a new city alone, building a skill from scratch while juggling family or money problems. That feeling of being the underdog is universal, but what separates the winners from the quitters is how you respond. Do you let that fear freeze you, or do you harness it as a reminder that this moment is your proving ground? She took every ounce of resistance the world threw at her and converted it into fuel for her rise. What really shakes me about this kind of story is how it flips the narrative on power. Too often, people think power comes from status or control over others, but real power, it's born inside. It's the quiet confidence that you're capable of creating your own destiny, no matter where you start. It's the relentless curiosity to learn, adapt, and grow. It's the courage to stand firm when the crowd doubts you. Imagine your daily life. Every choice you make is either building your empire or tearing it down. Every conversation, every risk, every moment of self-doubt or self-belief shapes who you become. She understood this deeply. Her legacy wasn't just the wealth she accumulated, but the example she set. That even when the world says you can't, the real question is, will you say, being a self-made powerhouse isn't about having a title or a fat bank account. It's about owning your power in the space you have and expanding it relentlessly. It's about waking up each day and deciding to be better than you were yesterday, even when no one's watching. It's about creating a life so full of purpose and impact that your story becomes a beacon for others stuck in their own boxes. The sharp business sense she had, that's like having a sixth sense in life. It's not just about numbers or deals, it's about reading people, understanding timing, and mastering the art of persistence. Combined with relentless drive, that sense turns dreams into reality and obstacles into stepping stones. When you face your own challenges, remember her story. Remember that being underestimated can be your secret weapon. The world rarely hands out respect before it's earned, but respect earned through grit and vision lasts forever. So when you're up against it, don't fold, learn from her example, sharpen your mind, fuel your fire, and keep pushing forward. The empire you build might not look like hers, but the spirit behind it that can be just as powerful. There's something truly powerful about the idea of success being more than just personal gain. In a world that often glorifies individual achievement, the ones who truly leave a lasting mark are those who understand that real success comes when you use what you have not only to build yourself up, but to lift others higher as well. This woman's story isn't just about accumulating wealth or influence. It's about how she took those resources and poured them back into the people around her, creating ripples that extended far beyond herself. Think about it like this. You might have a little light inside you, a spark of talent, a gift, or some kind of advantage. Many people keep that light hidden or use it only to illuminate their own path. But what if you used it like a beacon to guide others? What if your success was the fuel that powered a whole community's rise? That's exactly what she did. She didn't see her wealth as an end goal. She saw it as a tool, a weapon against despair and limitation for others who needed it more than she did. In our everyday lives, this idea can be hard to grasp fully. We get caught up in chasing promotions, bonuses, recognition, all things that feel like proof of our worth. But what happens when you flip the script? What happens when your goal becomes, how many people can I help get to the top with me? Suddenly, your journey isn't lonely anymore. It becomes a mission, a purpose bigger than yourself. She used her resources to uplift others, not just herself. That means when she had money, influence, or connections, she didn't hoard them. She shared, she invested, she created opportunities. And that act of generosity wasn't weakness. It was pure strength. It takes confidence to know that giving away what you have won't diminish your power. In fact, it will multiply it. It's like planting seeds in a garden. The more seeds you plant, the bigger your harvest. But some people are too scared to plant anything because they're afraid of losing what they already hold. Imagine a small business owner who finally makes a breakthrough after years of struggling. They could easily keep their newfound success just for themselves, buy the car, take the vacation, enjoy the perks. But instead, they hire local workers, mentor younger entrepreneurs, and donate to causes that helped them when they were down. That decision changes dozens of lives. One person's success becomes a domino effect, creating a chain reaction of empowerment. That's what she embodied. Her mindset wasn't how much can I get, but how much can I give? She knew that true power isn't about having the biggest pile of gold, but about what you do with it. A wise person once said, "Wealth not shared is wasted," and her life was a living example of that truth. By uplifting others, she built a legacy that no money alone could buy, a legacy of hope, strength, and community. On a daily level, this lesson shows up in small but profound ways. Maybe it's sharing your knowledge with a colleague who's struggling, supporting a friend through tough times, or simply listening when someone feels unheard. Those acts might seem minor, but when multiplied, they become a force that changes the culture around you. She took this to another level by using her resources in ways that changed the course of many lives. It's also about breaking the scarcity mindset. The idea that if you give something away, you'll have less. She flipped that thinking on its head. She knew the more you invest in others, the more you create abundance for yourself and your community. That's a mindset that transforms industries, neighborhoods, and nations. We all have resources, even if it's just time, energy, or a kind word. The challenge is to see those resources not as finite, but as powerful tools to build something greater than ourselves. She showed that by investing in others, you build networks of loyalty and trust that come back to you in ways money can't buy. It's like throwing a pebble into a pond. The ripples keep spreading far beyond the initial splash. When you think about the people who have inspired you most, chances are they didn't just talk about success. They lived it by lifting others up. They were the ones who made space for new voices, who opened doors, who shared their wins. That's the kind of power that endures. Her life is a reminder that the highest form of achievement isn't reaching the top alone, but pulling others up with you. It's the courage to share your light even when it means being vulnerable, the generosity to give when you could easily keep, and the wisdom to know that true greatness is measured by impact, not just income. Next time you feel like your resources are limited, remember that even the smallest acts of giving can ignite change. Success multiplied is the greatest success of all, and she was a master at turning her fortune into a force for good that echoed across generations. There's a level of loyalty that goes beyond words, a loyalty so deep and so unshakable that it becomes the foundation of every relationship, every decision, and every moment of sacrifice. This kind of loyalty isn't about convenience or reward. It's about standing firm even when the world around you is crumbling, even when the odds are stacked against you, even when there's no guarantee of recognition or payoff. It's a loyalty rooted in belief, trust, and something profoundly human, a bond that time and trial only strengthen. Think about the people in your own life who have stuck by you no matter what. Maybe it's a friend who showed up at 3 a.m. when everything was falling apart, or a family member who believed in you when you couldn't believe in yourself. That kind of loyalty is rare because it requires vulnerability, courage, and an unwavering commitment. It's easy to be loyal when everything's smooth sailing, but true loyalty shows its face in the storms. This woman's loyalty was that kind of loyalty. It wasn't a fleeting feeling or a transactional agreement. It was a fierce devotion that guided her actions, decisions, and sacrifices. She stood with the people she cared about through thick and thin. She was the rock in the chaos, the calm in the storm. And it wasn't blind loyalty either. It was loyalty forged through respect, love, and deep understanding. In our daily lives, loyalty often gets tested. Maybe it's in business when a partner faces pressure to cut corners, or in friendships when jealousy or competition creeps in. The real question is, do you hold your ground? Do you protect the relationships that matter, or do you let fear and doubt tear them down? She chose the former, showing us that loyalty is an active choice, not a passive feeling. Loyalty, like hers, is also about vision, believing in something greater than yourself and committing to it no matter the cost. It's like planting a seed in hard soil, knowing it might take years to bloom, but tending to it daily because you know the harvest will be worth it. She believed so deeply in the people and the mission around her that nothing could shake her faith. Look at any successful team, family, or movement, and you'll find that loyalty is the glue that holds it together. Without it, even the strongest structures fall apart. Loyalty breeds trust, and trust creates a safe space where people can grow, innovate, and push beyond their limits. She created that safe space with her loyalty, empowering those around her to become their best selves. Sometimes loyalty requires sacrifice, giving up your own comfort, taking risks, or facing criticism. She faced all of these and more. Yet she never wavered because she understood that loyalty is a form of strength, not weakness. It takes guts to stay loyal when everyone else turns their back. It takes character to stand tall when loyalty costs you something. Imagine a manager who refuses to abandon their team during tough times, who defends their people even when the boss doubts them. That manager earns respect not because of their title, but because of their loyalty. That loyalty becomes a source of motivation for the entire group, inspiring people to push harder and believe bigger. That's the kind of loyalty she lived. Loyalty also builds legacy. It's not just about the here and now. It's about planting roots that grow long after you're gone. Her loyalty helped shape a foundation so strong that it withstood storms of doubt, opposition, and change. It's a reminder that the way you treat the people around you today echoes into the future. In everyday life, loyalty might mean showing up for your family, even when you're exhausted, standing by a friend who's made mistakes, or committing to your goals even when progress is slow. Those small acts add up, creating a life built on trust and reliability. She showed us that loyalty isn't just a virtue, it's a way of life that transforms ordinary connections into unbreakable bonds. There's something almost sacred about loyalty that's chosen freely, not forced by obligation. It's a conscious decision to believe, to stand, to support. Even when it's hard, her story is a testament to the power of that decision. It shows that loyalty can move mountains, break cycles of doubt, and create a network of strength that lifts everyone involved. When loyalty becomes the foundation of your life, it changes how you see challenges. Obstacles no longer feel like barriers but tests of faith. Setbacks become opportunities to prove your commitment. And relationships deepen beyond surface level connections into true partnerships. She understood this intuitively and lived it fully, inspiring those around her to hold tight through every trial. Fearless in the face of public pressure and adversity. That's a rare kind of strength that most people only talk about, but few truly embody. Imagine standing in a crowded room where everyone's eyes are on you, waiting for you to stumble, to say the wrong thing, to falter. The pressure weighs on your chest like a heavy stone, and the voices of doubt echo louder than any cheer. Now imagine choosing in that moment to stand tall anyway, to keep moving forward even when every fiber of your being screams to back down. That kind of fearlessness isn't about not feeling fear. It's about mastering it, refusing to let it control you. Think about your own life for a moment. How often have you held back because you were scared of what people might say, scared of failure, embarrassment, rejection? Fear of public opinion is a cage that traps countless dreams. It keeps people playing small, staying silent, and settling for comfort instead of growth. But the ones who break free are those who stare the pressure in the face and say, "I'm still here." This woman's life was a masterclass in that kind of fearlessness. She lived in a world where opinions and judgments weren't just whispers. They were loud, relentless storms aimed to push her down. Society told her she didn't belong in certain spaces, that her voice didn't matter, that her ambitions were foolish. But instead of shrinking away, she leaned in. She understood something crucial: the pressure of public opinion is temporary, but the impact of standing firm is eternal. Fearlessness doesn't mean ignorance of risk. It means facing risk with eyes wide open, knowing the stakes but refusing to be paralyzed by them. Think about the entrepreneur launching a new product when the market is skeptical, the artist sharing their work when critics are harsh, or the person speaking their truth in a room full of doubters. That is courage in action, choosing authenticity over approval. In daily life, pressure comes in many forms. Maybe it's the fear of being judged by coworkers when you suggest a bold idea, or the anxiety of stepping into a leadership role when you feel unprepared. It's the voice inside your head telling you to keep quiet, to blend in, to not rock the boat. But she showed us that real growth happens when you resist that voice and embrace the discomfort of standing out. Imagine a runner in a race where everyone expects them to lose. The crowd jeers, the competition is fierce, and the conditions are brutal. Now imagine that runner not only finishing but crossing the line first. It's not just physical strength that wins the race. It's the fearless mindset that refuses to be broken by doubt or opposition. That's the same kind of mental toughness she had. There's a freedom that comes from refusing to let public pressure dictate your path. It means living on your own terms, following your own compass, and trusting your own judgment. That freedom is addictive. Once you taste it, you realize that the opinions of others don't hold the power you once thought they did. The fear starts to shrink until it's just a whisper in the background, no longer a barrier. Fearlessness in adversity also means resilience, the ability to bounce back when things go wrong. No one's path is smooth, and she faced setbacks that would have crushed most people, but she didn't let failure define her. Instead, she used it as fuel. Every challenge was a lesson, every criticism a chance to get stronger. Look at anyone you admire who has succeeded against the odds. Their stories always include moments when the world was against them, when pressure mounted, when people doubted them, when obstacles seemed insurmountable. The difference is that they refused to let those moments stop them. They embraced the discomfort and kept pushing forward. That kind of bravery is contagious. It inspires others to stand up and be fearless too. Fearlessness is a muscle that grows stronger each time you use it. It starts small, speaking up in a meeting, sharing an unpopular opinion, trying something new despite the risk of failure. With each act of courage, the next one gets easier. She was a master of this. Her life shows us that fearlessness isn't about being reckless, it's about being deliberate, brave, and unyielding in the pursuit of what matters most. In everyday moments, you have countless opportunities to practice fearlessness. It might be choosing honesty over convenience, vulnerability over pretense, or persistence over giving up. Those choices shape the story of who you are becoming. She lived those choices every day, teaching us that fear is real, pressure is real, but so is your power to rise above both. Leaving a legacy is about more than just what you accumulate or achieve in your lifetime. It's about the lasting impact you create, the stories people tell about you long after you're gone, and the values you embed in the world around you. Imagine someone who doesn't just live for today, but builds for tomorrow, who doesn't chase fleeting fame or empty applause, but invests in something far deeper, a legacy of strength, generosity, and vision that echoes across generations. This kind of legacy starts with strength, not just physical strength, but the kind of inner strength that anchors you through life's storms. Strength is waking up every day with a purpose, even when exhaustion threatens to pull you under. It's standing firm in your beliefs when the easiest choice is to give in. It's pushing forward when doubt creeps in, knowing that resilience is the fuel of progress. In daily life, strength looks like the single parent juggling work and home, the student grinding late into the night despite setbacks, or the person choosing kindness in a world that often rewards cruelty. This woman embodied that strength at every turn, inspiring others to find their own power even in the darkest moments. But strength alone isn't enough. Generosity is what turns strength into something that lifts others up rather than just elevates oneself. Generosity isn't just about giving money or possessions. It's about giving time, attention, encouragement, and opportunities. It's the simple act of sharing your knowledge with someone struggling, mentoring without expectation, or standing up for those who can't stand up for themselves. Generosity creates ripples far beyond the original act. It builds communities, forges trust, and transforms lives. Think about the people who've made the biggest difference in your life. Chances are they were generous not because they had to be, but because they chose to be. Generosity from a place of abundance, not obligation, sends a powerful message. Success is most meaningful when it's shared. She knew this intuitively and lived it fully, using her influence to create spaces where others could thrive. That kind of generosity is revolutionary because it refuses to see success as a zero-sum game. It believes that when one person rises, it lifts the whole community. Vision is the final piece, the ability to see beyond the present moment, to imagine a better future, and to work tirelessly toward it. Vision turns dreams into plans and plans into reality. It's the spark that ignites innovation, the compass that guides decisions, and the fuel that sustains endurance through obstacles. Vision isn't just for leaders in big offices or fancy titles. It's for anyone who dares to dream bigger than their circumstances. In everyday life, vision looks like a teacher who believes in the potential of every student, a community organizer who refuses to accept the status quo, or an artist who creates work that challenges minds and hearts. This woman's vision was so powerful that it didn't just change her own life. It changed the trajectory of countless others. She saw potential where others saw limitations and dared to build something lasting from that belief. When strength, generosity, and vision combine, they create a legacy that transcends time. It's a legacy that teaches future generations not just what to achieve, but how to be strong in adversity, generous in success, and visionary in purpose. It's a legacy that inspires action, fuels hope, and shapes history. We all have the power to build such a legacy in our own ways. It might start with the small things, standing firm in your values when it's hard, sharing what you have without expecting anything back, or daring to dream beyond the limits others set for you. Over time, those small acts grow into a life story that inspires others to be their best selves. Legacy isn't about being remembered on a plaque or in history books alone. It's about the lives you touch, the hearts you open, and the change you spark. It's about the strength you model, the generosity you practice, and the vision you pursue relentlessly. She left behind that kind of legacy, and it continues to shine as a beacon for anyone willing to step into their own power and create something meaningful. As we come to the close of this reflection, remember this: greatness is not born from ease or comfort, but from the fires of challenge and the depths of resilience. The story we explored is a testament to the power of unwavering faith in oneself, the courage to stand tall when the world expects you to fall, and the generosity to lift others as you climb. It reminds us that the true measure of success is not in what we hoard, but in what we give away, in the lives we touch, and in the legacies we build. It's been said that the strongest people are not those who show strength in front of us, but those who win battles we know nothing about. Your battles, your struggles, your moments of doubt, they are not signs of weakness, but the crucibles in which your character is forged. Do not fear the hard times, for they will sculpt you into the person you were always meant to be. Remember the words of Ralph Waldo Emerson: "What lies behind us and what lies before us are tiny matters compared to what lies within us." The power within you is far greater than any external circumstance. It is this inner force that can move mountains, break chains, and change the course of your destiny. When life tries to tell you no, when the noise of doubt and fear threatens to drown out your voice, stand firm and say yes to yourself. Say yes to your dreams, your purpose, and your journey. As Winston Churchill once said, success is not final, failure is not fatal. It is the courage to continue that counts. Your journey is a series of steps, some forward, some backward, but every one of them valuable and necessary. Never underestimate the power of loyalty, not just to others, but to yourself. Be loyal to your vision, your values, and your potential. As Stephen Covey teaches, trust is the glue of life. It's the most essential ingredient in effective communication. It's the foundational principle that holds all relationships. Build your life and your relationships on trust and loyalty, and you will create unshakable bonds that lift you higher than you ever imagined. Fearlessness is not the absence of fear, but the triumph over it. Nelson Mandela said it best. I learned that courage was not the absence of fear, but the triumph over it. The brave man is not he who does not feel afraid, but he who conquers that fear. Every step you take in courage, no matter how small, is a victory that builds momentum toward your greatest achievements. And in generosity lies true abundance. The more you give, the more you receive, not always in material form, but in joy, fulfillment, and connection. As Anne Frank wisely observed, no one has ever become poor by giving. Your wealth is measured not by what you keep, but by what you share. Finally, legacy is the lasting imprint of your life, the footprints you leave for those who follow. The choices you make today will echo in the future, shaping not just your story, but the stories of countless others. As Maya Angelou beautifully expressed, people will forget what you said, people will forget what you did, but people will never forget how you made them feel. Strive to make them feel inspired, valued, and empowered. So stand up with the courage of your convictions, embrace the strength that lives inside you, and walk boldly on the path of purpose. The world is waiting for the light only you can shine. As you move forward, carry these words with you. Do not go where the path may lead. Go instead where there is no path and leave a trail. Your journey is yours to create, fearless, loyal, generous, and unstoppable.